Afternoon. Great team win overall from top to bottom. Offense, defense, special teams, and obviously the unbelievable atmosphere that the fans provided for us to give us that edge that we needed. Though if they continue to show up like they did throughout the season, it's going to be really hard to defeat us at home. Going into the week, we understood and knew what we were up against from a offense, defense, and special teams standpoint. The Houston Texans are a really good football team, well coached. Frank Ross does an unbelievable job with their unit. A tough, physical, whole lot of vet leadership within that group. But I thought our specialists did an unbelievable job. The cover units did great. The returners, talking just from situational football, did an unbelievable job. BP kind of knocking the returner or that gunner into the end zone, kind of forced that touchback, was a huge play in the game. Todd Chandler ready to kind of touch that ball when it was about to be, when it ended up going out of bounds right there. Just situationally doing a great job. Mr. Wright hitting the backed up punt, 55 yards, pinning him right down the sideline, was good to see. Will had the opportunity to go out and hit the 58-yarder. It ended up being a little bit of a doink, but either way, still, you look at the stat sheet, it's still good. So that was good to see. But I would say that the biggest thing is, week in and week out, the preparation that this team has is truly the reason why we are having the success that we're having. It really starts with the practice squad guys, the look guys that we have doing an unbelievable job of giving us the looks. It's high-intensity practices. Guys are really challenging us. And so when we get into the game, it's just nice, good, clean execution. We always talk about, practice execution leads to game reality, and that's truly what it's been for us for these first 3 weeks, and hopefully we continue to build off of that. And, division opponent coming up, get ready to go on the road, Lambeau. It's going to be a tough environment. Besides does an unbelievable job with those guys. They're big, strong, physical. He's got a great combination of speed, power, and size out there. So we're going to have to bring a big boy pass, get ready to kind of gear up. Obviously the returners back there, Jaden and Keyshawn, are two electric guys. So we got to do a great job of kind of understanding what our coverage lanes are and being able to defeat blocks and tackling the space.
What did the 58-yarder mean for Will? Most of his opportunities have just been either extra points or shorter field goals, but actually put one on the board in the NFL.
Yeah, for sure. And it was kind of an interesting situation, too. The game's kind of is where it's at. You could easily just punt that football and don't even really be concerned about having to give up the field position there. But we wanted the opportunity for Will. Will wanted the opportunity for himself, and it's like, say, it's not really a true pressure situation, but every single kick, we treat it as the same, regardless of if it's for a game winner, send it to OT, we're winning 31-7, whatever it is, we treat that same kick, you treat that kick the same as any other. And so for him to go out there, plenty enough leg, nice good elevation right there, we're able to kind of draw back in. But, that's just another huge add and tick to his confidence. I don't think it's, if he missed it, I don't think you could have took his confidence away either way. But it was a good boost. Guys love Will, and so I was happy to see that go through, especially for it to kind of be that 50-plus for him.
How does he treat that the same? I mean, you can tell him it's the same or whatever, but it's not. How does he treat it the same?
Yeah, so, we do a lot of practice situations, a lot of game-like situations during practice to get him to understand, mentally from a process standpoint. He understands and knows, like, regardless of if it's a 25-yarder or a 50-yarder, he's hitting the same exact ball every single time. And so that way it's not almost feeling like, all right, well, on this shot I'm pulling out my 9-iron and, all right, I got 250 to go. I got to pull out this 3-wood. For him, he treats the kick the exact same, no matter what the distance is, no matter what the situation might be. And we do an unbelievable job here. We have sports performance coaches, a lot of mental training that goes on that helps guys kind of build their mindset, so they get into it to where they don't really have to worry too much about the situation or the pressure of the situation, and they kind of be able to treat it all the same.
What's his range at home, and then when do you determine what his range would be at Lambeau?
Yeah, I think that's going to be something where I determine pregame as we kind of work through our pregame warm-ups. He'll get a good feel for it. Lambeau is a little bit tricky just in terms of how the wind blows, where balls typically stay when you do hit them. So we'll get a good feel for what the temperature is, what the wind factor looks like. But at home, we can take it back as deep as we would like. 65 plus. Let's call it 65 plus. Because plus. Let's just say plus 65 plus. All right, but he definitely has a leg. You look at the 50-yarder, it had plenty enough distance on it even after hitting the up right there. But the leg strength isn't a question for him. Neither is the accuracy. I mean, this guy's just a stone cold killer, man. So I love him. Man,
you mentioned Ryan Wright's backed up punt. Just how impressed have you been by his start?
Yeah, looking at it, really you look at the week one game, I really thought he hit 1 out of the 3. He had 3 opportunities. I thought he went really 1 for 3 in those instances. And then you kind of look at really it's week 2 and 3. Those have probably been his best back-to-back weeks, talking about just consistency. And that's really what it's been all about for Mr. Wright is can you show us that consistent, ball striking ability? And he's shown it over the previous 2 weeks. He's done an unbelievable job hanging it, banging it. I tell him all the time, it should just be alley-oop ball between you and the gunners out there where you're hanging it and they slam dunking it. I prefer for no one within the court to make a tackle. It should be the gunners all day if Mr. Wright is doing the job.
Right. I don't think every punt returner probably goes after the gunner with that feisty. Is that kind of like a way that teams has reinforced play style? And what does that say about Brandon's wherewithal and?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, BP's when you get into those sky situations, he does an unbelievable job of being a very, very aggressive decision maker, but also smart at the same time. And a lot of times he's really looking to return those balls, but he's also never fair catching that. Gives him the opportunity to be able to go hit a gunner to kind of eliminate the opportunity for him to be able to down the football right there. And he has just such high football IQ that you can trust and appreciate that and know that he's not going to ever put himself in harm's way of getting hit by the football there. He's got good awareness of where the ball is, where the gunner is, where is our own guy at, and can he have the ability to get our guy away while he can still be able to kind of go knock that gunner off right there. And so, those are the small, attentive details that we talk about in the meeting room and trying to find ways to steal yards and really kind of be on the plus side of a field position standpoint.
What do you think of what Flo and the defense have put together, just like over his time here and just these first 3 weeks?
Yeah, it's amazing to see kind of how from the moment he got hired here last year to the personnel changes that we made. Unbelievable job by Kwesi and the coaching staff to kind of have that collaborative effort of getting the guys here. You can look at it outside in and say, that we didn't make these huge splash signings, but Flo was able to capture and get the guys who fit the schematics of what we're trying to do, the aggressive mindset that we're trying to have, and being able to put all the pieces together. It's a beautiful sight to see on Sundays when it all kind of comes together and clicks. And he talks about all the time, like, we're looking for tough, smart, physical football players, and you have to. You have to be a team player within the defense, At the end of the day, everybody's going to eat. It's just a matter of when is that opportunity going to come. When it does come, you got to make sure that you make the layup. But Flo's done an unbelievable job here. Does an unbelievable job of connecting with the players. Players love him. You can see that on game day. Every and anything that the defense exudes is a true kind of personality of who Flo is, which is a beautiful thing to see, man. It's chaos. Orchestrated chaos.
I know you're a pretty energetic guy. Like, what's going through your head, or like what are you doing on the sideline when that back-to-back ball start?
Oh yeah, that's all on the fans, man, and you can't give enough credit to them. But I'm fist pumping, I'm pounding the ground, I'm going crazy, because you just love to see it. We talk about all the time, how can we eliminate the pre-snap penalties? Those are just something that we can't have in our game, and for the opponent to have three of 3 of those back to back to back to back, it's just a huge credit to not only us from a defensive standpoint, but a huge credit to to our fans and the atmosphere that they're providing us. It's tough place to play in the Bank.
Matt, is any different piece of ice, kicking on Lambeau's turf? So, we always hear about Chicago, but it doesn't seem like, as long as it's not, freezing or whatever.
Yeah, for sure. When people always play, you watch the tape, it's always a ton of slipping going on out there. A lot of times we recommend wearing 7 studs out there just so you can get a little bit more grip and into the ground out there, just because for whatever reason the grass is usually very slick. So we just got to be mindful of that, of the footwear that we're wearing out there, and make sure we get out there pregame. Guys are doing the proper workouts and warm-ups just to make sure that their footing is good. But from a kick-in punting standpoint, it's kind of same. But it's more so for the guys that's covering, blocking, running around out there. Just got to be careful with the footwork and with the wear.
And with Will, has there been any moment that he's felt like a rookie, other than maybe not waiting for TV and kicking the ball too early?
Nah, I don't think so. Will is he's just so neutral and cool, calm, and collective on game day. He doesn't really show too much emotion until he hits a big time kick or anything like that. And then he wears his emotions on his sleeve. But outside of that, he's just kind of neutral throughout the entire game. Even when he does hit a ball that goes straight through the uprights, we can tell him good job, and he'll say, well, that was a crappy ball right there. That wasn't good enough. So he's a perfectionist at the end of the day, and you appreciate that. He's much harder on himself than I am on him, which is a positive. And, the biggest thing about him is that he just always has a growth mindset. And, that's what you really look for in, all of your players, really, because that's how you develop them. That's how you grow them. And, that's how you kind of get them to reach their maximum potential.